So we constantly find ourselves trapped in a hole in which it's really difficult to get out. This hole is procrastination. Uh, the drawing you're seeing right now on screen is a drawing I made thinking of what I felt during procrastinating, and maybe trying to show what other people could feel while this process. So first of all, I'm gonna explain what procrastination is not. Procrastination is constantly confused with relaxation, laziness, and attitude. Why is not relaxation? Well, it's actually the opposite. When we're relaxed, our mind is in a completely clear state. We're not worrying about absolutely anything. While procrastinating, it's your mind is constantly thinking what you didn't do or what you should be doing. The next one is laziness. So why is it not laziness? Lazy people are in a constant cycle. So they don't do anything, they feel guilty, they doubt themselves, and they feel helpless. But you know what they do next? They still don't do anything. So this is why it's not laziness. And last but not least, attitude. Um, Attitude is something you can choose. So let's say I wake up this morning and I wake up mad because of something that happened yesterday or last night or in a dream. And I decide to stay mad of it all day. But when we wake up, we don't say, oh, today I'm gonna procrastinate. No, it's something that we normally can't control. So now I'm gonna explain and tell you a definition I constructed myself. Which is procrastination is the action or habit of postponing certain activities that create important and certain emotions of annoyance. Is the trouble persuading yourself of doing these things you have to do. This term actually is not from the technology era or the pandemic. It's from the time of Socrates and Aristotle. So they came up with a word which is akrasia. And this word defines as the state of acting against your better judgment. So what do I mean with this? So it's when something is done and you know you shouldn't be doing it, but you're still doing it. So then a lot of emotions come because you didn't do what you had to do, like anxiety, anger with yourself, guilt, anguish, dread, and a lot of self-hatred. So there is another definition I found myself, and I found it really funny. Is the action of ruining your life for no apparent reason. Tim Urban is a really recognized TED Talk of procrastination. You should look for it. Um, so basically now you're thinking, but why do we procrastinate? So I have 8 main points. The first one is perfectionism. Perfectionism sometimes gets to the point where we use it as an excuse to stop doing the thing we have to do. For example, I personally am really perfectionist. I like everything to go as I want to. And if something does not go as I want to, then, well, it's like the end of the world for me. So, I use perfectionism as a way, as like a reason to procrastinate. like I'm doing an art homework, an art project, and I use it as something like I start perfectioning every single detail, and probably I'm using this as an unconscious way of procrastinating. The second point is decision paralysis. So the more freedom we have, the more we tend and procrastinate. So the idea is to limit ourselves to procrastinate, to distract. The next one is time inconsistency. So think like this. There's your past self, your present self, and your future self. So your past self knows all of the feelings you had while procrastinating, knows everything that you felt, how bad you felt. But present self and future self don't know that. So when we're planning, we're thinking in future self. Why? Because future self values all of that long-term benefits. So it's called delayed gratification. But when we're starting the action, we are, of course, in present self. So what does present self love? Present self loves instant gratification. What do I mean with this? It's like an instant reward. Our present self is constantly looking for that. So that's another reason why we start procrastinating. The next one is that we're visionaries, but not executors. What? Like, I don't think I even have to explain this one. I'm gonna tell you something. I actually spent a lot of time visualizing and thinking how amazing this presentation was gonna be. And I started doing it really late. So I could spend afternoons like this, thinking, oh my god, my presentation is gonna be so amazing. And I started to think like how people were gonna be like, wow, yes, oh my god. And you see, and I started visualizing myself like a TED talker. But I never started doing things. I never started doing what I had to do for the presentation. The next one is the starting point. So we normally have like the things we have to do, and we don't have an order. We don't have priorities. So we start like using that as an excuse. So I don't know, maybe I have a history essay and a math guide, but I don't know which one to do first, which one's longer. So I start using that as like, oh, where do I start? Where do I start? Where do I start? And I start using that as an excuse. The next one, walking without a guide. This one has a lot to do with the last one I said. So imagine yourself, you're going in an adventure, and you're on an island, and you have to get to the top of a mountain. You have to, like, you have your map, and that map says the mountains here. Here are you. Here's a mountain. Here's a river. Here is some rocks. Here it's, you see, and you know that. But there's a problem with this map. There is no indications of where and how to go. So you don't have those dotted lines that tell you, oh, go through here, go through here. You don't have those. You don't have those dotted lines like this that go all through the map and then take you to the final place you want to go. So you try to go by yourself, but you can't. You go well, and then you get like trapped in an obstacle. How do I represent these obstacles? These obstacles can be distractors, and we tend to spend a lot of time distracting ourselves or procrastinating. So when we're in the obstacle of the island, we try to get our stuck, like that is stuck there, but we can't. It's really hard, and when we do, then it's night, and then we don't have time, or you see. The next one is planning, because doing is a kryptonite. You may think, what is this girl saying? She told me to plan, and now she's telling me that don't plan? What is going on? Well, no, I'm not telling you not to plan. I'm telling you that planning is often used as an excuse. So we plan excessively. So like I said before, I have a history essay and I have a math guide, and let's add something else. Whatever you want to do, like play guitar or something. And let's start with the history essay. So now in the history essay, I have to start planning. What am I gonna do first? The investigation, the outline, the introduction, the body, and like that. So we have to plan a lot, and then that becomes an excessive planning, which is not gonna take you anywhere. So yeah, planning is good, but if you plan excessively, you're not accomplishing absolutely anything. And last one, the infinite well. So I'm gonna tell you what is a well. Well, you may know what a well is, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. So the well is that thingy, like that place where princesses go and sing, and then there's this like construction, and then inside there's water. Yeah, like this. And then here are rocks, and then really inside there's water. And there's a bucket. Oh my god, I'm sorry for my drawing. And then there's a bucket over here that goes down through a pulley to get the water that is down here. So now, yeah, that's a well. So now imagine yourselves, instead of the bucket, you're tied to that rope. And each time you start procrastinating, that rope is gonna start pulling you down and down and lower and lower and lower. And well, but there's no water because there's no water, because if not, you're gonna die. And we don't die procrastinating. So you start going down and down and down and down, and then you start seeing the hole little and little and little, and you start seeing the light really far. And sometimes, yeah, if we're not that low, we can get out by ourselves. So we can climb or something. But sometimes we can't. And there's one thing that can get us out if we're really far from the top. And this is the panic monster. Basically, the panic monster is like this thing that is gonna get you out of it. So, but this only appears when due dates are close, or when a career disaster is gonna happen. But sometimes there are some, well, these are the lucky procrastinators, but there's sometimes that there are people that don't react, that they just don't want to go up the well, and these people are self-annihilating. So there are also another reasons why we procrastinate.